is about to enter its 5th year. And that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. Xbox Era is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of Xbox Era. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Dayone, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Era is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of Xbox Era. Thank you for your support. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Xbox Era Headlines. The date is May the 30th, and Jesse and I are here to talk you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. As a bonus for our patrons, we'll be making audio versions of these episodes available to them for use in the Patreon app, but if they have a Spotify account, you can link it and listen to them right there. Hi Jesse, how are you?
Unbelievably tired for some reason. I got plenty of sleep.
Yeah.
We went to bed around midnight. I slept until like 8:30. So I probably got at least 8 hours, depending on when I fell asleep. And man, I just feel like ass for some reason.
I haven't been able to sleep for the past 2 nights, but I think I'm a bit frazzled. I'm a bit stressed out, and I think that's probably helping.
Xbox Era being more and more of a company to have to deal with and worry about things.
Yeah, it's account season, and it's just a lot going on. And like, this is a weird one. Slight tangent before we dig into the news. Personal life story. So I have to take blood pressure medication because I married a crazy person and they drove me insane for 10 years. But they upped it
allegedly
because I was getting a headache, and then I started to get water retention in my feet. So like, effectively, I was like a pregnant lady, and I had big swollen feet if I stood around or walked too much. So I've deliberately cut my own blood pressure medication back down to 5, and that's now resolved. But I'm obviously having to monitor the old blood pressure. But the stress isn't helping. I feel tense, man, tense. But hey, it's all right. It's video games. It's fun, right? There's nothing stressful about this.
It should be, but people really love drama, and people like that A versus B, sometimes versus C.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I fully expect, we'll talk about it in a bit, the thing Sony's going to have later tonight probably be good, and it'll drive people crazy on our forums and Discord.
Yeah. But hey. Anyways, let's dive into the news. First up, and the big headline for today is via the website Xputer. Xbox have apparently signed a deal to publish the new game from the original creators of the Batman Arkham series.
Thus the music when we were going live that no one who watches this as a VOD will get to see, because it will absolutely get us DMCA'd.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
So Xputer's got a pretty good track record. They do leak some good stuff.
They had Forza's release date last year. They had Hellblade's release date this year. They had Lords of the Fallen coming to Game Pass, which literally just happened a few hours ago, which I played on stream yesterday. That game fucking rules. I stand by my very generous, but I think accurate 9.4. That game is awesome if you are into Souls-likes. They've also added in stuff that, like, if anyone's played Elden Ring on PC and they know they've got randomizers and stuff, like, it's built right into the game in Lords of the Fallen. You can have it randomize enemies and loot to make it more replayable. And oh, it's so good. You can have it so that whenever a weapon drops, it's automatically completely upgraded. Better than Elden Ring in that single regard. But yeah, this one I'm excited for. I the Batman Arkham trilogy that they did. I still have never played Origins. I own it. It's actually a disc, like
Is that
right
the fourth
back
one?
there. That is so. Origins was a prequel not done by them.
Yeah. I ignored that. I only played the original trilogy, and I loved all of them.
I remember people said Origins had the best boss battles. Like, that was the thing people really liked in that one. I don't think it was Kevin Conroy as Batman. I think it was somebody else. But people still liked it. But yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm one of the idiots who really enjoyed my 15 to 20 hours with Suicide Squad. So I would be very excited to see what this new AAA IP publishing deal. And I was watching Giant Bomb yesterday, and Grub was like, it seems weird that they're signing these types of deals while closing studios. Like, well, actually, I think these deals would be more common because you don't have to pay these people the entire time they're making the game. You just pay them the publishing deal. You're not responsible for them as employees the whole time. Like, that's why Sony loves publishing deals right now. They set aside a specific amount of money. Here you go. Rest is on you. Get that shit done. Like, it's preferable in a lot of ways.
But anyway, Xputer, they reported that the original creators of Batman Arkham, Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker, who formed a new studio called 100 Star, they've signed an agreement, apparently, reportedly, supposedly, allegedly, with Xbox Games Publishing for the next title. And we don't know much. Action adventure, AAA,
The
single
studio
player.
is supposedly over 100 people now. Like, it's already pretty big. Lots of Rockstar people. Which makes sense. They were always yo-yoed around by... They were potentially, allegedly, rumored to be yo-yoed around by the constantly reported as dog shit level management of Warner Brothers. So getting away from that and getting to publish something with Microsoft, who is in the as long as you do something good, you're good crowd of we're not going to mess around with you a lot. Probably a really nice thing after like a decade or more plus of having to deal with WB management.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. It's interesting as well because this was a bit of drama. They left Rocksteady ahead of the launch of Suicide Kill the Justice League. And, you know, we know how that I mean, I know you enjoyed your time with the game, and lots of other people did too. But
underperformed base because I mean, it was the thing where they had a very long. That game wasn't made for very long. Supposedly, allegedly, the story was the game they were working on went to WB Montreal, and the game WB Montreal was working on went to them for some reason.
Sounds weird.
It might have just been that the game WB Montreal was working on went to them. It wasn't their thing. They picked it up. It's got a really fun core loop. It just does not have enough variety in its missions, and they haven't fixed that in the first season. Like, I think it got one more mission, and it's like, you do the same 3 or 4 things nonstop, but it's not hidden as well as it is in Destiny. Because in Destiny, you're running into a room and killing people, or you're picking something up and putting it in a thing. But they're really good at hiding that it's the exact same thing over and over again enough.
I mean,
where people are happy.
You could boil lots of games down to be exactly the same.
How good are you at
but
hiding it? How interesting? It's too visually noisy, I think, for most people. It didn't bother me, but that game can be very hard to tell what's going on sometimes with all the effects that are going on. And it had the problem where the loot, it's not immediately, you can't immediately tell if this is an upgrade or not. You've got to dig into it, and that's actually something they just had fixed with Diablo 4. Like, your loot system can be deep, but you need to make it so I don't have to spend more than 5 seconds to figure out if it's an upgrade. Because when I'm getting 50 things every time I play, that's still 50 times 5 seconds. Like, it really builds up. If I'm like 30 seconds to see if this pink level item is better than this pink level item.
Yeah. Still, very pretty game.
Extremely.
But again, this is the industry constantly trying to be the game that everyone plays, and so many of them come out and then just die. Because the stalwarts are what they are. You know, it's very, very difficult. Nigh on impossible. Someone will do it. Someone at some point in the near future will topple Fortnite or topple Rocket League or topple PUBG or whatever. But it's going to take a very unique game.
It looked like Helldivers was going to do it.
happen.
Now that's completely fallen off. Like, it's so hard, and it has to be a game that can pull in almost any IP without its core audience getting mad. Because all the ones, like even like a Genshin, just pulling in tons of different IP, like you have to be able to constantly pull new players from different IP, because they're like, oh shit, I've never played Genshin, but I really like Horizon, and now Alloy's in there. I'll go play that. Like that's the way you can keep getting new people in as others fall off.
I have to admit, none of that kind of stuff interests me as a gamer whatsoever. If I see like the Master Chief in another game, I'm like, eh.
You can play in Fortnite as Marcus Phoenix, Master Chief, and a guy in power armor, and you don't have to build, and it feels okay.
Yeah.
Nick's got 170 characters in that game. He needs help.
Yeah, he does. Anyway, next up, Circana's report for April is out on the video game US industry. Projected total US spending, this is via Matt Piscatella over on social media platform X, formerly Twitter. Projected total US spending on video game hardware, content and accessories fell 3% in April 2024 versus the previous year to $4.1 billion. A 2% increase in content spending could not offset a 43% drop in hardware and a 4% dip in accessories. Oof. That's a big drop. The content spending growth was led by mobile, which gains from this segment, offsetting a 24% year-on-year dip in content spending on console platforms.
Yeah.
And US video game projected total market consumer spending, 13 months rolling, consumer spending month by month and change versus prior year. It's looking pretty rough out there for the industry.
It's dropped more than he was thinking it was going to, and he already had predictions for it, but it is one of those things like Stellar Blade led April, which sounds really good. New IP, new game, only on one platform, and it was able to lead it. But then he broke it down later. It was like it was the lowest monthly leader since I think Prototype, like a decade ago.
Yeah, in 2012.
So it's like it did okay, but not like it did fine. I doubt that game cost a ton. It's probably been very successful. But seeing it number one, you think, oh shit, it took off. But it's like, no, the spending was down so much. It was like, it did fine. So, yeah, we're going to cover that, Will. But just looking at it like across the board, just everything's down. And I know the economy in the U.S. is like fine. It's stabilized, but it went up a lot. And it just stopped. It's supposed to start going down to try and get back to where things were, because like if I go to the store and I spend $200, I get about as much as I did when I spent $100 like 3 years ago. Like it just has gotten like eggs keep jumping up to $7. Like
my mortgage is jumping up by nearly £800. It's like that is the sort of thing that is going to absolutely break me. Like where I'm going to have to completely reassess how I live. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
No more vicious crack addiction, unfortunately.
Nope, have to give it up. April top 10 PlayStation titles, according to Matt Piscatella. I'll just do the top 5, actually, because it's a lot of reading. Call of Duty HQ, number 1 platform on PlayStation, followed by Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, the Remastered Edition, NBA 2K24, and Roblox, with Helldivers 2 sneaking in at number 6. On Xbox, it's Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox, Grand Theft Auto 5, Minecraft, and then Fallout 4, which the previous month was ranked 53. It's now ranked number 6.
Yeah, and it's
pretty impressive, that TV show.
Every Fallout game has flown up. Mostly 4, then 76, then New Vegas. Like they've all just taken off. I haven't seen too much of 3, and that's because 3 is really tough to play. Any game where you are aiming a gun and you shoot it and it goes directly in a person's face and it says miss, I'm out. That's the reason I can't go back to Morrowind vanilla. I would have to like mod it up so that if I hit you, I hit you.
Yeah. An interesting note here, Sea of Thieves was the 4th best-selling game of April following its launch on PlayStation.
Wasn't it like a single...
That's pretty good.
Is it available for a day? Or like 3 days? It came at the very end of April, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grounded flew way up too. Like, Sea of Thieves and Grounded both took off on PlayStation, so anyone wondering like, hey, Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment didn't do crazy numbers, well, the other two... one that feels like a live service game, but actually isn't in Grounded. But it's a really fun co-op thing with friends, and then the actual live service co-op thing with friends both took off like crazy. So, and we'll get into it in a bit. Not the next thing, but a couple from now. But like, it's just where the industry is going if you are not Nintendo, because I think people are realizing more and more. There might be certain things here and there to have either full or timed exclusivity on to try and pull some people into your thing. But overall, my kids, everyone I know that's younger, they don't not give a shit where something is. They just want to play it. Like, the platform is the game. They just want to play the game. Like, my son doesn't. My son's like, I'll play Call of Duty anywhere, but my friends only have PlayStation and they want to use PlayStation chat, so that's where I play it. And I'm like, they've all got Discord. You guys are on Discord all the time. You can literally just use Discord. He's like, oh, I can? So he's like, oh, I can play it wherever. It's like, yeah, because I can probably get you a code.
Bing. Yeah. Next up, Netflix, in an announcement earlier today, are creating a Minecraft animated series. My son will be delighted. He was a big fan of Minecraft Story Mode, which was an interactive series that was available on Netflix and on consoles, but it's delisted now, right? You can't.
I think so.
You can't play it.
Was it Telltale?
You can't get it.
So it's gone. Like, a lot of Telltale stuff was gone. I don't remember.
Yeah, but there's not much beyond that. We don't know a date or anything like that. Yeah, it was just an
announcement. But they're also like,
just like, hey, we're doing it.
They're quite happy to work with. Yeah, it was Telltale, so that's why it's gone. They are very happy to work with Xbox. They're happy to work with anyone, really, because they're also doing the Gears of War animated show and live action movies. Or movie. But yeah, my daughter will probably want to watch it. She still plays Minecraft.
Yeah, my son will go absolutely mad for it.
And she's like turning Jesus Christ. She's not turning to Jesus Christ, but she's almost about to be an adult, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I bet. Next up, Activision win. And this is the second time this has happened.
Yeah, it's double good precedent.
Double good precedent, yeah. So Activision, this is a byline from Tom Ivan over at Video Games Chronicle. Activision wins $14.5 million Call of Duty cheatmaker lawsuit. They pursued engine owning in 2022. And the federal court has awarded a $14.465 million judgment to the publisher, Activision, in its lawsuit against the company Engine Owning, which is Garnat Enterprise Limited, and includes 11 people working at that company. The defendants were also ordered to pay $292,000 in attorney's fees, while the court issued a permanent injunction against the cheater's site. Activision own the domain now.
As someone who has gotten massively screwed over by cheaters in like Overwatch and other games, I'm very happy when precedent gets set like this, because while I'm not like, yay, corporation consolidation power shit, it's like the cheating sites affect me greatly as someone who has played a lot of online games, and knowing they can be potentially be lessened, and I don't have to go like, oh, I've just spawned and my head was shot off from across the map in Battlefield 2042. It's like, the less that happens, the happier I'll be.
Good. So that's good news. Next up, Sony, Jeff Grubb lives to insider another day, as per your tweet.
He was just shitting on all the haters. It was very funny. I love Jeff, and people like the history of State of Plays, because they announced the State of Play. They had their kind of really weird investor call, but the State of Play, they normally announce it 1 or 2 days ahead of time, and this is 1 day ahead of time. And he just went off on all the people that were just attacking him all week. Like, it's too late now. It's like, if it was a showcase, yeah, they give that about a week. But it's not going to be a showcase. Also, stay off social media if you don't want to know pretty much every game that's going to be there, because it's already leaked. But, yeah.
Yeah. Already leaked by someone.
Someone before Nick, and then Nick added confirmation, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. But, it'll probably be a fine show, and people will lose their goddamn minds, even though, like, probably half of it'll be multi-platform everywhere anyways.
we're meant to see more of Concord and some other stuff, at least hopefully.
There's been constant rumors about a new Astrobot thing from Jeff, so maybe that. Yeah, then the Silent Hill show is right after it, and I feel very bad because it's taking place right as the Marvelous Games show is taking place, the exact same time.
Dear.
I was like, oh shit.
Well, no one's going to watch the Marvelous show then.
He said he didn't know if it was a showcase or a state of play, like 9,000 times, same that Nick did.
Yeah. It was just Sony are doing a thing.
Mm-hmm. And then Nick
but there you go.
And said he thought it was going to be this investor call that people were talking about.
Well, he shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to watch that, it's at 6 p.m. EDT tonight, I think.
Eastern US, so 11 o'clock your time because they hate the UK, even though they're mostly UK run. But the funnier thing for me from the investor call was they pretty much said, yep, our live service stuff is going to be day and date PC, but not our single player games. We're going to use those later ports to try and pull people from PC to PlayStation 5, and everyone's like, that is not how PC players' minds work. They will happily wait.
We'll just wait. It's a single-player game. There is nothing to miss out on.
Yeah.
I've never understood FOMO for single-player games. Like, I've never understood it. You just wait. And
FOMO
the spoilers
would have been like Helldivers than God of War Ragnarok. People will wait on great single-player, but when their friends are playing some great multiplayer thing, like, that pulls you in more. That is the biggest driver.
The one.
Also, and live service is harder to do on multiple platforms at launch because you have to have servers and all that shit ready. Like it is a harder road to go down. It makes sense, but I mean the most sense is having damn near everything everywhere in the end. Like having this friggin' just live service, but not MLB. It was like MLB was in the live service category, but it was the only one that was immune from being on PC. And I'm like, why? Why isn't that on PC? That would do well.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. But speaking of things being everywhere and all the metaverse and IP crossovers, it looks like, and I saw someone in the chat say earlier, and this is effectively true now, Xbox own Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is their first-party Fortnite now at this point, as evidenced by a leak that was uncovered, or a data miner on Twitter. A chap called Earthbound Fan shared not only a bunch of the bundle logos for the upcoming Black Ops 6, so there's a cross-gen bundle, there's a standard edition, there's a Vault edition, which presumably will come with a bunch of extra bits and pieces, but they also uncovered that the Modern Warfare 3 is getting some Fallout skins. So you've got Gaz and Captain Price wearing the Fallout. It looks goofy as all hell.
Yeah, I don't think it looks that good. It's realistic Fallout suit, and I don't think it's like vibrant blue enough. But it's called. You would really stick out if it was. So I get it, but yeah,
it's But this is it. This is the like. You're going to see more and more and more and more publishers will really lean in on the valuable IP that they have and then try and put it everywhere, because that's how you make money. And we'll see how that works for Microsoft as the year progresses. But yeah, Black Ops 6, we know we're getting the big reveal in the summer showcase weekend after next. With a direct straight after the main show.
I need to set up some
deep
more
dives into the game.
Co-streams we'll co-stream everything pretty much, like Game Awards and Xbox. Xbox hasn't said anything about an extended showcase, which makes me sad. I hope they do one. Those are always fun.
They usually do, but maybe they're going to throw everything into this show. But yeah, we'll find out more as the weeks progress. Destiny 2, the final shape, is on its way, but for some players, it arrived a little bit early, as the entire game apparently leaked via the PlayStation Cloud streaming service, meaning players could see everything, cutscenes, weapon unlocks.
They went through the entire campaign.
Wow. Oof.
As someone who was going to try and play it right at launch whenever the servers actually get up, a little less incentivized to grind it out if the whole thing's already out there, but I don't know. It'll probably do fine. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Look, the last expansion for Destiny didn't do great, right? What one was that? Lightfall.
So Lightfall sold insane numbers, and
but then it
people,
was a bit meh.
But then the actual campaign for Lightfall was bad. But then season 1 for Lightfall was good. But so many, like the thing that happened, it was like all their projections went flying up because they sold so many pre-orders for Lightfall, and then they could not keep that momentum for the rest of the year. So that's why they kept missing their projections. Like, probably doing fine making money-wise, but it's always that, what have you told corporate you're going to make, and then what do you make?
Versus reality. But yeah, for people that adore Destiny, and there are a lot of people that really do like it. There's a number of my friends that just play Destiny
it's
all the
right
time.
back up over $100,000 every day on Steam again.
I've never, after the first game, I was like, this is boring, and I never went back.
I've got a couple thousand hours between the two of them, I think, between Destiny 1 and 2. Travis and I would play Destiny 1 a lot, and then we played Destiny 2 quite a bit. I have fallen off since, like, I come back, play the expansion, go, this was fun, and then I'm kind of done. Even though they do give me the gold edition, so I have all the season stuff, but I'll check out a season. I have not once felt pulled in because it's just too much stuff to do for the site. You'd have to be really good to pull me in for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there's previews out for it as well now. Particularly one from IGN.
It's funny, Paul Tassi was like,
stuff.
oh, I forgot I even played this, and he forgot to write it up. I found it funny. Like, how do you forget? It's your favorite thing.
Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, that's coming out very, very soon. So get excited, Destiny fans.
Tuesday. And then the servers aren't working until like Thursday, so.
Yeah. One day they'll get it right. Star Citizen. You might remember this one. It was announced 8 years ago. And it's a crowdfunded title where you can buy for real money in-game ships for literally thousands of dollars.
11
of
and
real
a half
dollars.
years ago.
Wow. That's even longer
September
than I thought.
2012.
But it's now broken 700 million in funding and still isn't out. It's not a scam. It's not a scam.
I know a lot of people who play it, and it's like, it's got the face tech, and it literally is trying to be that you are just living in this. It's like friggin' unbelievably high-tech Second Life. Like, it's a life simulator more than anything. But like, people spending thousands of dollars on in-game ships, and like, so that's most of the fundraising is them just selling microtransactions like crazy.
$700 million. Madness. I'll give it a go when it comes out because I like games like Elite Dangerous and stuff like that.
How much money do you have?
But that's the thing. If it's one of those games where, I don't know, if you don't
I'll reach out to the PR and be like, hey, can we get the $350 version so John's got a good ship? And they'd be like, nope, buy it.
I just can't imagine. Nah, it's not for me. But I'll try it at some point in the future. Next up, Resident Evil 9 is internally delayed, but Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica remakes are coming, according to both notable leaker DuskGolem, which was then also corroborated by IGN. So Resident Evil 9 hasn't been announced, but it's in delayed town, apparently. But the games that are getting remade are Code Zero and Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica.
Yeah, 0 was
Does that excite you?
I don't care about 0, but Code Veronica, yes. Code Veronica could really benefit from it. It was the first one that was 3D. It was on the Dreamcast, the better system than the PlayStation back then, so it looked a lot better. Didn't have the pre-rendered backgrounds. It has full 3D. Code Veronica was the one I always remember really liking because I hated the goddamn stupid asshole that would always follow you around in 3. But yeah, Nemesis. Couldn't think of his name for a second. So yeah, I really enjoyed Resident Evil 4 Remake. By far my favorite one. 2 and 4, I think, were the best remakes. 3, good. Resident Evil 8, okay. Not great. Okay. Fine. Just not a big Ethan fan. 9 is supposedly back to Leon. I think that's the rumor. but it hasn't been announced, so all of this is just hearsay and leaks and rumors from a guy who in general has been getting corroborated by a lot of other people who would definitely have looked into things. So I would be excited. It will all be announced at PlayStation shows because they, for $10 million, I think it was, got like forever marketing on it because Capcom was insane for a little while there. But it should be on everything. So yeah, I'll look forward to it. I'll happily review them all. I reviewed 2, 3, 8 Gold Edition, but I didn't do 4. Gave that one up to Mike because it was nice. You're muted.
I haven't done that in a while. I feel like I haven't done that in a while.
You've done it twice today, though. You're not getting any sleep. I forgive you.
It's mostly because, I'll be honest, I just got a message from friends of Harriet's mum saying, hey, would Harriet like to come over and play date like today? We can pick them up. And I'm like, I'm doing a thing. Can you pick them up like a little bit later? And I was multitasking, and I shouldn't be.
It's tough,
but this is real life, people. It's juggling all these different things. You shut up, Trav. All right, you just shut up. But yeah, they do surprisingly well for Capcom, all of these remakes, because and this is where I don't mind remakes of games that are 2 gens plus in the past, and they don't look great anymore, and they can be elevated and made to be more fun and brilliant,
and they've got a lot of quality of life stuff that they can gain from them, like when it's an actual remake. Like 2, 3, and 4 were remakes, and while they did cut out a lot of content in 3 that was a little frustrating, like 2 was a much better game than the original. 3, for the parts that were there, was better than the original. 4, way preferred to the original. I was not a huge fan of the original. I never played on GameCube, but I played on other stuff, and it was like, I actually didn't like Resident Evil 4 until I played the MetaQuest version, which was great because it got rid of all the awful control shit. Because even in 4 Remake, Leon still pretty much tank controls. It's just tank controls with 2 analog sticks. He is still very heavy. But in the VR version, it's just you.
Breaking news. You know how we just said Resident Evil 9 is delayed, not going to get announced this summer, blah, blah, blah. Eurogamer, 16 minutes ago, Resident Evil 9 Revenant Shadows pops up online, along with PS5 versions of Code Veronica 0 and Resident Evil 5. I guess that might be something to do with a Sony showcase later on.
But that's not in any of the leaks.
That's not in any of the leaks. The remakes have long rumored to be in development. This is a byline by Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. The former includes a hitherto unknown subtitle, Revenant Shadows, which may or may not be the final cover art and a description of the game. Is the latest installment in the iconic survival series by Capcom. The game continues the chilling legacy with a fresh story, new characters, and the return of familiar faces. Set in an expansive, terrifying world with new threats and mysteries, Revenant Shadow blends intense action, intricate puzzles, and the atmospheric dread that fans have come to love. There are also listings for Resident Evil 5 on PS5. The description says there's new technology developed specifically for the game, as well as incredible changes to both the gameplay and world of Resident Evil, suggesting it's not a mere remaster. Looks like,
DuskGolem got it wrong. Sorry, Dusk. I mean, he got a lot of it right.
Sony might have a show today.
Well, this was probably the one more thing, and PlayAsia ruined it. Because there was a rumored one more thing, and now it's just out on the internet. So...
yeah.
But yeah, so
but there you go.
It is weird. So it says HD remaster for 0, but there's already one of those.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Just one more thing.
But there you go. Lovely little bit of breaking news. Dun dun dun. Well timed as well. Thank God for that. Next up, there's only a couple more things here. This is going to be a shorter show than usual. Amazon Games have signed a publishing deal with Maverick Games for a new narrative-led open-world driving game. So, pause for a second. Who are Maverick Games? Well, they are some of the original founders of the Forza Horizon developers' Playground games. So, studio and head and creative director Mike Brown, who was the former creative director for the Forza Horizon franchise, started a new studio. And they've got a bunch of people from Playground in there as well as others. And now they've partnered with Amazon to bring that game I guess, to multiple platforms because Amazon's a everything publisher as well as their own. Yeah, a narrative-led racing game. Are you down with that?
I don't know. This will definitely be something that ends up being a Fair Empire joint, I think, more than anything. I have done like the Forza Horizon stuff, but that is just the arcadey fun racing. If this is anything, I mean, if it's more Forza Horizon, I might check it out. But
yeah,
I would say this isn't tickling my fancy because unless this writing is a lot better than Forza Horizon, I hate the writing in Forza Horizon.
Yeah, the really happy, hey man, we're all cool, let's be friends. Oh, race you to the... But yeah, apparently Jamie Britton, who was the co-creator of the BAFTA award-winning British TV show Skins, is the lead writer of the game, working alongside Maverick, which includes executive producer Tom Butcher, Forza Horizon F1 All-Stars, chief technology officer Matt Craven, Forza Horizon Grid, Dirt, content director Gareth Harwood, Forza, Fable Reboot, audio director Fraser Strachan, Forza Horizon, art director Ben Penrose, Forza Horizon Fable, and visual design director Ellie Marshall, Forza Horizon 3, Just Cause 3, and Dirt. I mean, there's some big games there with a lot of vehicular open world experience, so makes sense. But yeah, congrats to another new studio that has just popped up. Yeah, exactly. See, this is what happens.
And they were able to get funding. So
yeah, this is what happens. As much as people hate consolidation, the really big ones get bought, and then a bunch of people take their checks, they leave, they start new ones, and then they build up again, and that's capitalism, baby. It is what it is. But yeah,
DuskGolem says
cool.
He doesn't believe the PlayAsia stuff. That he thinks that they have a history of putting up rumored things. So we'll see.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Insider face-off.
For those that are into driving and open worldy stuff, they finally gave a date for that Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, I think was the name of it. That's been delayed like 4 years. It's coming in September. So that'll be another one that I can hopefully get a code. We were on the list 4 years ago. Hopefully we still are, though I had to... RoboCop was a similar one. Same PR company, I think, and I had to fight to get them to remember that. So we'll see.
No worries.
I agree, Laterate. Furiosa was awesome. I wish we were doing it on tomorrow's podcast.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, though, so we can't. And I really do want to see it.
You and Nick... Well, you'll go to the movies. Nick will not.
Yeah.
He'll download a friggin' telesync and watch it on his phone in portrait mode.
Last bit of news that we have on the docket for today. OpenAI, they're a company that seem to do lots of weird, shady things that Microsoft are deeply embedded with. And they've made a deal with Vox Media, who own the Polygon website, The Verge, and other publications online. The OpenAI will be able to train itself on their work. The union that represents the employees at Vox Media have shared a joint statement about their concern with this new partnership. And it reads as follows. It says, today, members of the Vox Media Union, Thrillist Union, and the Dodo Union were informed without warning that Vox Media entered into a strategic content and product partnership with OpenAI. As both journalists and workers, we have serious concerns about this partnership, which we believe could adversely impact members of our union, not to mention the well-documented ethical and environmental concerns surrounding the use of generative AI. We demand that Vox Media engage with us on this issue transparently and address our many unanswered questions about this partnership instead of continuing to fail to include our voices in decisions like these. We know that AI is already having a monumental impact on our work, and we demand a seat at the table in discussions about its future at Vox Media. Interesting. I can understand their concern because AI can write articles in seconds about loads of crap, and if you search and AI just spits out what it's learned from their articles that they've worked on, their website doesn't get clicks, boom, suddenly they're all unemployed. I get it. I empathize.
Train on Tom Warren's writing so that we can then not have Tom Warren. That's the type of shit idiot executives will think. So there are really good uses of AI, but they are extremely limited. Like, some of the best uses are to help with the mundanity of coding. Like, I've talked with ZDocs and our friend Duke, and he's like, Duke is like, I can code twice as fast with AI because it just cuts out so much shit. But, the bad part is then they'll be like, well, do twice as much work, or they'll fire half the staff and say, okay, now you're responsible for another guy's work too. Like, they will always look to use this instead of helping. And I think Microsoft won't, because Microsoft is super gun shy of being cartoonishly evil. Like,
mustache twirlingly evil.
It's where regulation has worked with them, where they are a world dominating company, but they won't lead in being terrible. So them being the ones mostly in bed with OpenAI, who seems to allegedly possibly really suck, not the worst, because Microsoft is so gun shy in comparison. Even the shitty things they've done lately have been following shitty examples. Like, closing studios, they weren't first. Firing people, they weren't first. They're just doing the exact same thing everyone else is. But, as you can see, people really go after them when they do it, which is good. You should go after all of them when they do it, because outside of Embracer, every single one of these companies, for the most part, could afford to pay these people for 100 years, and it wouldn't hurt their cash reserves. Like, they're only doing it, and it's, I think, the thing people aren't looking at when they say, wow, PlayStation's selling as much as it did for PS4. It's like, when it's flat, it can be flat and I'm making $3 trillion, but I'm a giant company, so I want $3.5 trillion. Like, that they're always looking to grow. It doesn't matter if you have 3,000 in the bank or 300 million in the bank. They want that number to go up all the time. So it doesn't matter if you're doing fine and you are sustainable and you can go forever paying all these people. It's like, yeah, but if I fire a bunch of them and I get other people to do more work, then our numbers will look better for the next quarter. It's like, it's the dumbest shit. Yeah, no, it is bad. It is always bad. So,
but hey, because the show is quite short, I'm going to chuck another little headline in. Just another one. Back in September of 2021, Private Division, owned by Take-Two, signed a deal with Bloober Team to publish a, as of yet unannounced, new survival horror IP, which Bloober Team referred to as Project C.
For cancelled.
Well, Take-Two's Private Division, this is coming via Moro NL on Twitter, has terminated its publishing agreement with Bloober Team for that project. The terms of the termination are being negotiated, with Bloober Team looking for another publisher. Oof. There you go.
It's the thing like Private Division, 2K. 2K is now in the GTA 6 isn't early next year. It's now late next year. So what can we cut? We're only making hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter. They actually did lose quite a bit. They are one of the ones where it's like you can sustain some losses when you know you're going to make an insane amount of money next year, but they won't do it. None of them will. They won't do the longer term approach right now. Everyone is just, I'll worry about the long term, but I can't forget about the short term. And then they go so hard in the short term that they just make dumb decisions. Like, I get all the business reasons why Microsoft shut down those studios. I don't care, though. As someone who loves their games and wants to see more, they could have paid those people with 1/100th of the money in their bank for like another 40 years. They could have done it easily. But that's always the thing. We can't think like sociopathic executives, because for us living, 1 or 2 paychecks ahead of time, we can't go and be like, yes, my paycheck was only $1,600 this week. If it's not $1,700 next week, it's a failure. It's like, we just want to keep our shit going, whereas they're not happy surviving and thriving. They must grow in very specific ways that the market dictates, and it's stupid.
Yeah. And to wrap things off, I just pinged you a tweet. Do you want to talk about this? It's up to you.
Sure. Jordan Campbell used to work on our site. For some reason, he's very mad that I did not...
Let's give some context. Let's give some context.
Here's the tweet. I gave Hypercharged Unbox a 6.5. I think it's fine. There's nothing technically wrong with it. It's a nice-looking game. It's got twee music, and it can be a fun little time... Oh, cool. There's a fake Xbox era at X. Oh, no, that's us. It's blocked. I thought it said XT. But it's like, he's been very mad. He messaged you. He messaged Nick. He's very mad that I only gave it a 6.5 when he gave it a 10. And it's like, Austin Ford gave it an 8.5 on PC. I gave it a 6.5 on Xbox. I don't think it plays particularly well on a controller. And we are different people who have different opinions on it. So
what?
That would be it. I don't know if there's anything else to say. Like,
there isn't really. And it's just a reminder, like, we love Joe and we wish the Digital Cyber Cherries guys
fine. They don't all have to be
all
the same.
the best of luck. But it's not our job to just hand out 10s because we like the person. Okay, sweetheart, my daughter's going to borrow some paper. She's just coming. She's just, here she is. She's just borrowing some paper. We like all those guys, but it's not our job to just divvy out the highest scores we can because the guys are really nice that we've met. That's not our job. Right? Now, you could say, well, why did one reviewer give it this and one reviewer give it this? They're different people. They have different expectations, different likes, different loves, different platforms.
Also, he didn't work on the game. I don't know why he's so upset.
I don't know. But
it's like he points out, I found myself hip firing more often than not because I couldn't see shit when I held down the left trigger to gain a little zoom. And then he says, what kind of writing is this? Just totally unprofessional and makes no sense. I've been popping people from one side of the map to the other. It's very clear context. When you have iron sights and you look at something close to mid-range, everything gets fuzzy. You have to have that. If you have a scope, it's fine. Yeah, if you've got a friggin' scope on a sniper rifle, it doesn't do that. But you left out the context of when you're hip firing or when you're aiming down iron sights, the bloom, the depth of field, all that shit goes crazy and you can't see anything. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's not his game. I don't know why he's so mad. Like, he messaged Nick, and Nick said I was generous in my 6.5. Like, I don't know.
Like,
it's fine if it's fine if other people really like it. I thought it was okay. We use the full score, the scale.
Yeah, like 6.5 is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Good game.
I found it to be good, not great. Austin Ford enjoyed it a lot more on PC. Maybe he controls a lot better there. I think
he's also a massive Twitch shooter on PC, like Austin.
Yeah, and it's not Twitch on console. Shooters. It relies heavily on aim-assisted magnetism because it's slow, and I couldn't get it to feel like it's slow to start, but then once it starts, it goes too fast for fine aiming, so it's driving me crazy. But it's like, if people like it, that's good. Go find more opinions and read people who you trust and see what they have to say about it. You don't have to go after people who... Jordy gave it a 10. I wouldn't have given it a 10. You don't have to go after him for giving it a 10 out of 10. I don't know why he's messaging so many people so angrily about it. It's like...
It's weird.
Don't open the skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. Let's let it lie, man. You're not publishing it. Anyway, that's it. That's it for the news. That's all of the news, pretty much, plus a little bit of drama chucked in at the end there because, really whatever, it's our show. We'll be back for our patrons tomorrow night live to discuss 2 movies in the Patreon exclusive show, Sik and Nick's Flicks, where we talk about Godzilla -1 and The Fall Guy. So if you're a Patreon member, you can keep an eye out on patreon.com/Xbox Era to get the exclusive YouTube link for that. Don't worry, YouTube members, you'll also get a link, as will everybody that's in the appropriate group on our Discords and forum. And then we'll be back on Saturday for the final show before the one before the big showcase. So you can expect lots and lots of discussion, but we'll probably save a lot of our predictions for next week ahead of that show, where I will probably
predictions.
I'll probably be joining from Los Angeles, which is be fun, depending upon where I am. I've got to sort out my calendar today. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse and I will be back with headlines on Tuesday next week, hopefully, again, depending upon... No, I will be. I haven't flown anywhere by Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday. Thursday is the one that might be up, because I'll be in a plane in the sky, flying through the air. And I did see some people in the chat commenting earlier that all of the entirety of gaming media appears to be in London today for some sort of Fallout-related event. London's 40 minutes from me. Thanks for the invite, Bethesda. I'm not left out at all, you fly people across the world. I would have paid for my own train ticket, lads. Like, what can I say? But it is what it is. We're small still, but with your help, we're growing. And if you want to help Xbox Zero grow even more, first of all, hit that like button before you log out for the day. And if you really love what we do, head to patreon.com/Xbox Zero. Until then, we'll see you next time. Ciao for now.
Goodbye.